Morning. Everyone please stand for the pledge of flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call. Mr. Crosby. Mr. Youngman is at work. Tim Wilson, we're here. Approval of the minutes for last month. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Same for the claims and the payroll. Make the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right. The COVID-19 update, our health department.
Okay, so the commissioners have asked a recommendation from our health officer, which is Dr. John Albright. And so he sent a statement to them, and what he has stated is he has no objections to opening the courthouse pending Governor Holcomb's recommendation on how to proceed during the COVID-19 pandemic. He is recommending, as a Vermillion County health officer, that the commissioners will enforce strict guidelines of social distancing. Masks and gloves should be worn on a daily basis, and that would be as your public comes in. Hand washing with the employees as well as the public people that come into the building. And then there needs to be an active screening as employees and public enter the building. And what he's stating by active screening, he's meaning if you guys choose to do temperatures, coughing, I know you guys put some things out about wearing masks if anybody has a cough. That's part of it, of your screening, and then limit the amount of people that enter the building and the ones that are into the offices. And also there needs to be strict cleaning and sanitizing of public offices and public areas and offices in the building. And so that's the recommendation from Dr. Albright to you guys. He didn't, well, I would assume that's what you guys need to make a decision since you have offices outside the courthouse. If you would set these guidelines as well for them, the offices outside.
We got, Amy's got things orders not coming in at PE, not coming in. Is that correct, Amy?
Correct.
And
Marco Harris might be able to talk about that a little bit more.
I have ordered PPE to include masks, gloves, thermometers. We ordered thermometers from 2 different sources. We went through a fire department on one of the orders to be a higher priority. Everything says that they have stuff in stock and they're ready to ship. As soon as you put your money down, that usually backs off about 10 days. And there's always a little provision that says, you know, due to high claims, this could be longer, which is why, like with the thermometers, I ordered through one box store. I don't know if I can say names or Walmart, but the other one we ordered through an actual MSE, through a company. The Walmart order says that it will be shipped between May 1st, Friday, and May 7th. Hopefully we'll have stuff in place. The idea with thermometers is 5 for the courthouse. That's 2 for security officers checking people coming in and out of the building, and 1 on each floor for employees who might come in, say 7 in the morning before a security officer shows up, so that they can have their temperature checked if their supervisor thinks that they look a little flush or something. I've got 3 on order for the highway department, 1 for each garage, so that the garage superintendents can check their people. 1 for economic development and Purdue Extension. 1 for the EOC, and that leaves me 3 spares. The health department, I don't know if they have infrared thermometers, but if not, they would have 1 that they could check their people. I think that covers pretty much everybody. I also ordered 3-ply paper disposable masks. I recommend that the courthouse opens up to appointment-only type visitors, that they are required to wear a mask the entire time they're in the building, whether they want to or not. That would stop them from bringing anything in. I would highly recommend that you tell those people they have to bring their own mask, but there's always going to be that one Mark O'Hara who shows up and doesn't have a mask. So that allows you to give them one. Ordered nitrile gloves for that purpose also, for cleaning the people. Currently, we have a 2-month back order on all the PPE we ordered through the state. Pretty much anything that's coming to the state of Indiana right now is going to Gary, Indianapolis, Evansville, where the large outbreaks are. Hate to say it, but the fact that we have a small outbreak is probably stopping us from getting all that stuff. And, maybe it'll show up in the middle of summer when there's not a high demand, which will get us prepared for the fall, when it's going to start up again. I do recommend it before we open up, we make sure this PPE is in place. We can't open up and a week later have stuff start showing up.
Once the PPE is here, we could say, if we get time, we could start soft building May 13th, we have it. And then look at it again, May 26th, make our decision as a highway department. You might get them some masks that they're making, so they can stay away from us, unless it's a rainy day, they can't all be in the garage and go home. And they get some work done. If not, then we'll just have to stay like we are. Okay.
Tim, I have masks in my car for your highway department. The community Park and Vermillion residents have brought cloth masks, so I talked to Melissa this week, and I'm dropping them off this morning. So they will have, each garage will have.
You're dropping
masks.
her off?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you hear that, Harry? Okay.
And also for the medical or the employees, county highway, courthouse, EOC, health department, I recommend that we use the cloth masks that people are making, or you can buy these places now too. Not in quantity, but you know, you can pick up one or two here and there usually. I recommend the employees use those because those can be reused. Okay, the paper masks are a one and done type thing, which they're recommending we reuse until they're falling apart, but you're not getting the effect of them anymore. Okay, they're not helping you. For the people who have to use the medical grade N95s and higher masks, Union Hospital in Clinton has an ultraviolet mask cleaner. It takes about a minute to clean, what was it, 10 masks at a time or so, they said. They do have a program set up. There are a lot of specifics. You have to have your mask in a paper bag when it shows up. They want the front of the bag marked and the back of the bag marked, and the mask is in the bag in that orientation. But fire departments, EMS, people who need to wear them can take them to Union Hospital, make an appointment ahead of time so they know they're coming. And could take like all of your department's masks and have them sanitized. They say that's good for 3 times. So if you have to reuse your PPE, you can talk to them and get it set up.
Now, the health department has received PPE,
Okay.
and so all of that has been distributed out to the hospital, or not hospital, excuse me, but the EMS, the fire departments, the sheriff's department. So as soon as she gets it, and each time it seems like we get a little bit more, but that's coming from the state health department. So we've received 3 shipments so far.
Mark, I didn't realize 5 years ago when I spent 4 weekends out of my life in your office for natural disaster, we addressing.
The incident today.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. Anything else on that? John Spur, you have some comments on the
Yeah,
bids?
I was asked to be here and give you an update. There's a snag with the Community Crossings grant, and I want to outline what the law says and what happens. Start with the home rule statute. Under home rule, an elected official has all the duties that they need to conduct their office. The commissioners are elected. The statute on commissioners says that you will conduct the business of the county. When you conduct business, you do it in a public meeting. You either vote on things, or you do ordinances, or maybe you sign a contract or a lease. But any official action that you take, the custodian of that action is the county auditor. So if we lease a piece of ground or we make an agreement with a vendor, a copy of that agreement should be somewhere in Amy's office so that any member of the public can come in and read that agreement. When you bid on a project, you publish specifications. We want to build a road, we want to build a bridge, we want to build a building. And then anyone that wants to bid on that project fills out the bid packet and submits it. You guys look at those bids, and the statute gives you 2 duties. You have to first decide if a bid is responsive. In other words, did they fill out the packet correctly? If they were supposed to provide proof of insurance, did they provide it? You would take out any bid that's not responsive to your request. And then the second decision is, are they responsible? In other words, is this person going to be able to perform the work that they bid on? If you're building a skyscraper and some guy that's just got a pickup truck and a shovel bids on it, you might look at it and go, is he really going to be able to get the job done? So that's an outline of the law. In late January, early February, working on the community crossings grant, they apparently needed to get some information on how much it would cost to build so many miles of road. It was talked about as needing an estimate, but what was actually done was an email went to the highway department that said to bid this. So the highway department published bid specs for this roadway, and a local business submitted a bid on that. That bid was later used as part of the community crossings grant to secure the grant. So then the question came to me, it was referenced that this was a bid that was bid and accepted. And the question that came to me is, do we have to now reject this bid and rebid the project? My initial answer was there's nothing under state law that would require us to reject a bid that we'd already accepted. But I don't know what's in the community crossings grant. I don't know if there's a paragraph in there that says you must rebid everything after you get it. I just don't know that answer. I was told that was a requirement, and over email, my request was, well, would you show it to me? Should you give me the document that says this, provide it to the commissioner so that they can read it. I did not receive anything. After a couple of requests, I got a couple of screenshots from a PowerPoint presentation that someone attended. And one was a copy of the state bidding statute, and another was a checklist of things that said you have to follow proper bidding procedures. But neither of those things, a citizen going and attending a PowerPoint presentation doesn't create something that binds an elected official. The people elected 3 commissioners and an auditor, and there's a way by law that you guys have to interact in decision making. And I can't tell you based off of a screenshot of a PowerPoint that you're limited in your authority as an elected official. So I'm being told through the person who prepared the grant, telling Commissioner Yoakum, and then him telling me that we have to rebid this. But as your attorney, I can't tell you that legally you're required to rebid it. And then I've communicated with Amy over email, and Amy tells me that there is no copy of the grant application or grant agreement on file with the auditor's office. So I don't have a way to read it. I've asked for a copy. It's not been provided to me. I know that Amy has asked for a copy and it's not been provided to her. We checked the meeting minutes. We went back and looked at what our official actions were in the meetings. In the meeting, it has been discussed in one meeting as an estimate, but in another meeting as a bid. The email that went to the highway department definitely said to bid the project, and the project was definitely bid and responded to. So you have 2 problems that you guys are going to need to unravel. One is we have a bid that we haven't rejected or accepted. It's a bid that was in response to a publication that we made saying we wanted bids, and someone was responded. The second problem is I can't give you guys legal advice on a document that I'm not allowed to read. By law, Amy is supposed to have a record of our official actions. We've taken an official action to get this grant, and it's being opined that somehow in accepting that grant, your authority is now limited on how you can accept bids, but I can't tell you yes or no. I can just tell you I haven't read the document and I don't have a way to read it as we sit here today. So we need to get a copy of anything that's binding on you guys as recipients of this grant so that we can read it and see what rules we have to follow.
So maybe you're suggesting we table this to get the information?
It might be sound because I mean, there's dangers either way. If you accept the bid and the grant really does limit your authority, then you could be in trouble under the grant. If you reject the bid, and my understanding is this is an asphalt company, there's no allegation that the bid wasn't responsive or that the bidder wasn't responsible. So if we just reject them because someone said we had to do it, and then it turns out we really didn't have to do that, then they may have some kind of action they want to take. So I think the bigger of the 2 problems is we need to get a copy of anything that is binding on the county and it should be on file in Amy's office. I want to read it, but by law, it should be on file in Amy's office for any member of the public who wants to see it to go and see it. So I think that's really the bigger of the two problems. Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. Okay. And we definitely bid it. Well, I think we should get a copy of the grant agreement regardless of what other decisions are made. To me, I view not having a copy of the document as the far bigger problem than what's going on with that bid.
John, can you paraphrase what Harry said? The public can't hear him via the phone very well.
Harry said that he had contacted Wabash Valley Asphalt and told them that we received the money and to go ahead and proceed, and that they're set to start laying blacktop in about 10 days.
Thank you.
So, on their schedule, okay. Who do we ask for that copy of it? Can we?
My understanding,
By letter or somebody, or?
my understanding, Melissa Weibel's in possession of it. I've asked her twice through email, and Amy's asked her once through email. The response I got was that our request was too vague for her to respond to. So I don't know if we need I mean, I can continue to try to ask informally and see what happens.
Why don't you ask one more time so we can get a copy of that? You want to go ahead and proceed in as was on the road part area? Yeah. Yes.
Grant money, stuff for next year, I was told, this morning, might be different. So, whatever John, thinks you ought to do, he can't recommend it, don't do it, but my opinion is, I don't think we have it now.
Okay. I don't think we got anything wrong either, from what the paperwork I have seen so far. And we need to get a copy, so we have it on record in Amy's office, the auditor's office, and John, our attorney, can have it. I think we need to proceed with our road work. That's my motion. All right, motion made, second, we're all in favor. Anything else?
And I will make one more informal request over email. I'll copy you guys all in on it and tell her that we have to have these documents, and then if I don't get a response, you can make a decision at your next meeting where you want to go with it.
I got a question. I read a thing the other day where property taxes can be delayed paying with no penalty for 60 days. Is that correct? I was asking about that, and I read an article. I thought
It's a state body that makes that decision.
Yeah, I know.
They have authority. I looked at the statute a week or two ago, but I don't remember exactly what it says.
Amy, have you received anything on that?
On property taxes
Yes.
being delayed?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 60 days.
60 days.
All penalties, all fees are waived for 60 days.
Okay.
What is the fire on the highway department, So, 14th,
Wendy's got masks for him, you drop one in Melissa's office. We could probably let him go back the 14th, but, if, like I say, if there's a rainy day, they don't all need to be in the shop, someone's got to go home, or they can go out on the road and look for things to do. But it shouldn't be all congregated in one building until this is resolved.
so, just tell them that, all we going back to work the 14th. But it's the rain out, and have them all that day, and everything out there happens,
That sounds good to me.
so we still get paid.
That, all the mask thing, okay,
The 13th. You meet on the 12th,
you know,
so you'll make your next
be the
determination.
13th, Harry.
Okay,
Go, you know, it's gonna be on 13th, Salt Building, and meet on 13th.
okay.
Mark, you comment on that?
Well, I'm good with that. Remember that sending people home for rain days, this could go till the next year until they have some type of
Yeah, I understand that.
vaccine for this or treatment.
It's
It's not a short-term thing.
right, you know, you gotta keep in mind, we got our county deputies and our EMS and our fire out there on the first line, especially our deputies, I mean, there's no,
They're walking up on people traveling.
yeah, they're just there, gamble, so. We're doing our best with people we gotta take care of, but there's some we just, there's nothing we can really pray for them, know what we can do. Anything else come for us this morning? Motion to adjourn, Harry?
All right, motion adjourned.
Thank you, people. Motion adjourned.